setting the record straight about Reverend Rice that spoke this past week of June about the Jews, said that they're to blame for everything, and then he retracted and said he didn't mean all Jews. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the Jews so we'll know who Reverend Wright is really talking about. He stated not all of the Jews, but some of them. Let me clarify that for Reverend Wright, what he's actually saying. Reverend Wright does not hate Jews. He is speaking of the Israelis, which is the house of Israel. And remember now, God spoke these words himself. Israel went a-whoring, and they are still whoring. And when God brings them back to Israel, they still won't do what's right. And God will intervene and do it himself. This is the very word of Adonai, speaking to the house of Israel. And you must remember, stop misrepresenting the Jew and the house of Israel. The Jew is the youngest son of Jacob, Benjamin. The house is made up out of him and Joseph that was under the Pharaoh of Egypt. That is in Jerusalem. And the house of Israel is the rest of the tribes of Jacob, that you call Jacob. So let's get one thing straight. If everyone is interested in whether Reverend Weiss is actually telling the truth about the Jews, or anyone else blaming the Jews for robbing the governments everywhere they've been and what Hitler did to them and why he did it, no, you got that completely wrong. The Jew knows itself. Now, if you want to find out if Reverend Wright was telling the truth, then investigate. That's the way I say it. I'm a Mosheim. I'm a follower of the laws of Moshe that you call Moses. And I believe in the law, statute, and the commandments and the word of Adonai. And I don't change whether a person changed their color or anything else like we see the Jews doing today. Remember now, the house of Israel was scattered in Peel. Peel means change color, change attitude, change ways. They went one color, came back another. Peel, wherever they were scattered. This is the house of Israel. Now the Jews, in particular, know what's going on. These are the rabbis of today that study the Talmud and the tablets and the law of Moshe that you call Moses. So let's not blame Reverend Wright for everything when you can't really interpret it. What they should do to Fox News, since all this junk comes mainly out of Fox News, we should all get a swastika, send it to the Jew, send it to Fox News. Pause. My best friend Patrick has just come in, and continuing on about Reverend Wright. Let's make it perfectly clear. Reverend Wright said that he did not hate all of the Jews, but those Jews who know that they're doing wrong against black people and other people with their banks and their grocery stores and all of their industries. You take a look. Instead of arguing and trying to blame everything on Reverend Wright, like Hannity and Fox News did this week of June, why don't you investigate yourself of what he said? He said that they own everything, they're misusing America, and all of these different things. Well, investigate and find out if Reverend Wright is lying. Because I stick with Reverend Wright against Obama. He is actually telling the truth. I go back to what he said when Obama left the church. Reverend Wright quoted that Obama worked for the government, politicians, and he worked for God. And I go for Adonai, that you call God, over Barack Obama and all these crooked politicians like Nancy Pelosi, Senator Reid, all those duckett heads. They're all getting paid off. And you remember Barack Obama stated that, even though he's my man, he just don't know why he's there, but I do. My vision's told you already on one of my DVDs on YouTube while he's there. But let's make it perfectly clear. Senator Reid and that Democratic crooked party is running this country. And the Republicans are so teed off because they screwed it up and the Democrats can't get out of it, so they blame everything on Barack Obama. But let's look at it. Why aren't Fox News and all the rest of the stations showing what Bush did? But no, we come down on Reverend Wright and Barack Obama. You see the nut that went in and shot up the Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C.? That was just one man. Thousands and hundreds of thousands of people want to do the same thing. It just wasn't as crazy. That old man lost his time. He's too old to even sit down. You have to sit him down. He's so old. That's why he did it. But you just don't get it, do you? I tell you people, you better wake up to reality. The white man is so scared, he will blame anybody for what he's done and won't blame himself. And this is why Fox News, like I stated, we should get a swastika, or should I say enough swastikas to put on the right arm or the left arm of every host and guest of Fox News, starting with Karl Rove, Scooter Libby, the crooked judge, lying Dick Cheney, going around shooting everybody on the farm because he can't see. And now I will say this closing out. Who do you think was running this country under the Bush administration? I'll tell you, it sure in the hell wasn't George W. Bush. It was that dickhead Cheney. That's why he's opening his mouth now, because if they investigate, they will find out that Bush didn't know a damn thing. He was too stupid, out of Texas, wearing them cowboy boots and them big hats, that he couldn't run this country. If you put it in his head and told him never to forget, he wouldn't remember. But Dick Cheney would. That's why they call him Dickhead Cheney. So give him the first swastika, then give the swastika to Rush Limbaugh, the bouncing Betty, follow the bouncing ball. Next, give it to Hannity. What does Fox News preach every day? Every time you turn on the news, no matter who's speaking, you hear Barack, 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 Barack. They don't even call him president most of the time. They just call him Barack because they don't give him respect. This is Hannity in particular. And we got all of these lying nuts like Ann Coulter and the little Filipino girl, I forget her name, you know, the one looks like a mosquito's Peter. They got them all coming on Fox News with their propaganda, but yet and still they can't cure the problem, and that's why they're not in there. So you blame Reverend Jerimah Wright for what he said, but I say this on closing. I don't blame Jerimah Wright. You know why? I already told you. Investigate about the Jew if you want to. I have nothing against the Jew. I know the prophecy and the sayings of the Word of God, that it shall be fulfilled. And God will bring them back, not them coming back. It had nothing to do with America or England or France or anybody else. God states this prophetically, that he will bring the Jews back and the house of Israel back with those two sticks and put them together, and it shall become one house called the house of Israel. Now, we got some that won't listen, they're stirring up things, and we got many Jews that have died for black people, and lawyers and judges that have hurt black people because of the racism toward them and the blacks. So Reverend Wright was correct. He didn't say all the Jews. He meant all people in the house of Israel are so corrupt, and they're using that color to try to get over. Remember the word of God? They were scattered and peeled. They left one color, came back many colors. And now they don't know who in the hell they are, and everybody wants to blame it on Barack about what they're doing to the PLO in the Gaza. Hey, who's backing who up? You better check China out. Everything you touch nowadays in America is made in China. And the whole country is going down because of China. You know why this is? They're scared that China is going to team up with Russia, and like they did before, and they don't want to get beat up. Like I told you, when the man gets scared, He'll do anything to try to save his wicked self. I'm out of here. Peace to you nuts. In Fox News, your swastika is on the way. I'm out of here, boy. You redneck truck drivers.